Hey y'all, and welcome back to another adventure with the Bantex Overlanding crew. We are on another trip to the Alpine Loop in southwestern Colorado. This trip was a little interesting. We managed to hit a deer just as dawn was breaking while we were on the road to our first campsite. So we had to find a car wash nearby to wash all of the leftover deer off the Tacoma.
What happened?
We hit a deer. Ricky says it smells very nice.
This trip we brought along a couple friends. We've got John and Jenny in the tan Tacoma and Robert and Vanessa in the silver 4Runner. We made a quick stop at the Roswell sign to make a photo op, and then we were on our way. We didn't film a whole lot in New Mexico. Brad got a few clips for us for the first couple days, but if you want to see more about that trip, you can actually go see John's YouTube channel. I will put it on the screen below. He did a full video of our first couple days in New Mexico, but stay tuned for our adventures in Colorado. Brad and Cody both got a swanky new setup to where they can air all 4 tires up and down during the trip, and this is the first time they got to really test it out. After a long drive that day, it was nice to finally get to camp and have a good meal with some good friends.
Day 2.
Like I said earlier, we did not get a lot of footage of our New Mexico journey. We just hit a lot of water on our way down the mountain. But if you want the full story, go jump over onto John's channel. He puts out some great videos and he'll give you the full scoop of New Mexico.
Saturday, the 15th. Heading to Colorado.
We were all so ready to be in Colorado to enjoy the beautiful mountains, but we were all really hungry, so we decided to stop at a place called Chicken and Barbecue in Cuba, New Mexico, which was very good. Highly recommend stopping if you ever are in the area. I definitely forgot to mention something. If you've seen our previous videos, you have seen Cody and I driving an F-150. While we still have her, we traded our trail rig for a 2019 Toyota Tacoma. This is the first trip it has been on, and it's been a great ride so far.
Colorado.
Where at?
Big 5 Sporting Goods.
What are you gonna do?
Get me a fishy license.
One of the first stops we had to make in Colorado was at the Big 5 Sporting Goods store in Durango. We typically stop here if we've ever forgotten something or if the guys need fishing licenses, which so far has been both trips. And just down the street is a neat little store where Cody found his favorite beer that he cannot get in Texas, Rainier. If you've seen our previous video of Colorado, you've probably recognized this spot. This is our favorite campground just outside of Durango at the Purgatory Ski Resort. We decided to take our new adventure buddies here as their first camping spot in Colorado. After we got camp set up, it was time to crack a few cold ones. Sam started on dinner and she made us some delicious pizzas. They were so good, in fact, Riggins was trying to get a bite. Sunsets at this camp are incredible. We love the way the sun sets behind the trees as it goes behind the mountain. We took the opportunity to get our cameras out and snap some photos, and we even tried our hand at a little nighttime photography. Finally, we were going to hit the trail, starting with Engineer Pass. and it seemed like a good sign when the first thing we saw before we even actually got to the trail was our first moose we have ever seen. You excited we saw a moose?
Yeah.
Finally?
Finally.
Only took 2 trips to Colorado?
Only 2.
Planning our trip in October this year, we had snow-capped mountains which created some incredible photo opportunities. If you've seen our previous video, you'll recognize this next spot. At the time, I didn't have much information about it, but after some Googling, I reached out to April Odom, the wife of late Billy Odom. She said he was a 4-time national motorcycle champion who passed away due to complications from a dirt bike wreck. One of Billy's friends spread his ashes at the spot that Billy visited during a ride. It became a big deal, and in 2017, Billy's memory will forever be noted by the stunning location, Odom Point. When we were done with Engineer Pass, it was time to find a campsite. We tried to go to the Wupperman campground, which is where we camped in our previous trip. However, we found out that everything basically closes down at the end of September with the off season, so we had to adjust course and find somewhere else. We ended up finding a little campsite right by the river. This was our new adventure buddies' last night with us. The next day they would be headed home back to Texas. So we just soaked in the good company, the beautiful scenery, and had a great night.
Tell me what day it is. What day is it?
It's Monday, right?
What
day?
number of days?
5.
Day 5.
The morning of day 5 was a little bittersweet as we were saying goodbye to John, Jenny, Robert, and Vanessa. But soon camp was packed up and we were headed out on what would turn into a very interesting little adventure. So a little bit of background for those who may not know. Typically Cody and I plan the locations and routes of the trips while Brad and Sam usually provide most of the food and the cooking. So Cody has special maps that he uses that we are able to navigate different trails and off-road things. We don't use Google Maps. But Brad was hell-bent on fishing this day, and when he talked to someone about a good lake to go to, she said just take these certain roads and you'll get there in a couple hours. Well, when Brad Google mapped it, we ended up going down a actual pass that didn't take a couple hours and threw us a few curveballs. The road she was talking about looked like county roads on a map, but when we actually got there, it was actually Hancock Pass. Hancock Pass is at an elevation of over 12,000 feet and is actually one of the highest roads in Colorado. Funny enough, it follows an old railroad grade up a mountain to the Continental Divide, connecting the east and west Alpine Tunnel trails. This was not mentioned on Google Maps. Apparently, we were supposed to be going to Hancock Lake by taking roads 839 and 299, but we never actually made it to the lake. After driving what already felt like an extended period of time, we ran into our first major road bump of this little adventure. Now, if you've ever tried to film something and you look back at the video and you say that didn't look as steep or that didn't look as off camber or anything like that, I'll let you know right now, this hill was tough. Very steep incline, lots of divots in the rock. It was definitely a rough spot to get through. But Brad did great. He had Cody spotting him the whole way and they made it up without any issues. Since Brad was the guinea pig, Cody knew what lines to take. He still had Brad spotting him, but after that, we were good to go and we were on our way. We soon realized we were racing the sun to try to find a place to camp, and the road was slow going. It took us way longer than we anticipated to actually make it to level ground, so we actually ended up sleeping in our cars that night because it was so cold and we were in the middle of bear country. Needless to say, there was no fishing that day. Day 6 did not start out ideal, as we did sleep in the vehicles, so none of us got a restful sleep, and it was extremely cold that morning. I will admit that one of the reasons we were headed in this general direction and the lake that Brad picked to go fishing at was because I had a specific destination that I wanted to get to while we were on this trip. It was very early when we arrived, so it was very peaceful and very quiet. We had the whole place to ourselves, so we took full advantage of being in the ghost town of St. Elmo to hang around at Chipmunk Crossing.
Hello, baby.
This was such a fun experience. I don't think I've had that much fun in a long time. These chipmunks come right up to you, they eat out of your hand, they will climb all over you. But I'm so glad we did not miss out on this. As much as we wanted to stay all day and play with the chipmunks, it was time to get on the road. We went back to Silverton over Cinnamon Pass, another trail we've done on the previous trip. As always, there were beautiful views, but we were ready to get to our final destination for the evening, which was a little bit different than usual. This is the longest overlanding trip we've taken, and we weren't counting on the weather being this cold. We also weren't counting on everything being closed at the end of September. We had planned to take showers at a KOA we knew about nearby, but that didn't work out. So while we were going down Cinnamon, I went online and looked up an Airbnb so we could get some hot food and an even hotter shower.
Stopped in at the night at the Avon Hotel that Keely found.
We got pretty lucky in booking rooms at the Avon. This place is very cool and we highly recommend you stay here. Not only are the staff super cool people, but the building is absolutely incredible. Everywhere you turn, there's something new to look at, and it's all incredibly interesting. The building was originally built in 1904, but it was restored in 2017, and honestly, the only new things in there were probably the kitchen appliances. One of the staff members showed us around the hotel and showed us to our room. He explained that the building actually used to be a boarding house and a brothel back in the day when mining was big in Silverton. He also introduced us to the owner and operator, Ivy. She definitely manages the place. After we settled in, Sam cooked us my favorite dinner, beef tips and gravy. We took some hot showers and settled in for a long, cozy, warm night. After a cozy night, we decided to kind of do our own thing this morning. Brad and Sam went fishing, and Cody and I decided to go to Black Bear Pass. We're gonna do a whole other video on Black Bear, so keep an eye out for that. In this video, we're just gonna show you some of the high points. There was definitely a sense of accomplishment getting through Black Bear. It is a pretty notorious pass, and the worst part was definitely Adios Curve. But it was fun, and we'll probably do it again. We ended up meeting Brad and Sam on the other side of Black Bear in Telluride. After a quick lunch in Telluride, it was off to Uray by taking Imogene Pass. This tunnel is called the Social Tunnel. When the mines were active, single women were prohibited from visiting the mines, so this is where the miners would meet them. The first mining location you pass on Imogene is the Smuggler Union Mine. Discovered in 1875, the Smuggler Vein was the first gold discovered in San Miguel County. The mine would grow to be one of the 3 largest in the district, and the population of the mining camp was between 200 to 300. The next mining camp you come to is the Tomboy Mine. The Tomboy Mine was one of the top 3 producers in the Telluride district. The settlement contained a school, store, stable, and cabins for all the miners. A daily stage ran across the shelf road we now drive, carrying passengers and mail. This was one of Colorado's largest Alpine Company mining camps, a significant community that lasted decades. Once you pass the Tomboy Mine, you are on your way to the summit of the pass. Imogene is the second highest drivable pass in Colorado and was first constructed in 1880. The first ever alternating current long-distance power line was installed over Imogene Pass, delivering electricity that assisted mining operations for the greater Telluride area. Not only was Imogene historic and beautiful, but it was memorable for another reason. Getting to be a part of our best friend's engagement was definitely the highlight of this trip. The last couple days of our adventure were for celebration and relaxing before the journey home. Until next time, safe travels.